My name is Yeong Kim, and I'm a faculty member in the Human Development Family Sciences program at the University of Texas at Austin. Graduate students wanting to get a faculty position, many ask me, how many publications do I need as a graduate student to land a faculty position? Typically, nowadays, given the tight job market, it is challenging to land a faculty position right out of graduate school. So, of course, you need a PhD to be a faculty member, but it's now looking like students need typically 2 or maybe even 3 postdocs before landing a faculty position. So, a student would typically need to have about 5 publications, probably 2 in a top tier journal, to be able to land even a good postdoc. And typically, depending on the type of school students want to go to, the journal quality is what matters rather than the number. So almost all these faculty positions are going to want to see close to minimum 2, closer to 5. And the higher the quality of those first author publications means you're more likely to be at a Research 1 university rather than a Research 2 or a teaching university. Students also ask me, how do I get started as a graduate student in terms of getting a grant? Typically, in order to get a grant, you have to be a principal investigator at a university. But because graduate students are in training and they don't have PI status, they need to get grants that are designed for graduate students. One of the key ones we recommend is the National Science Foundation Graduate Fellowship, which is typically submitted by first-year PhD students. Another grant mechanism that's highly recommended is the F31 mechanism, which is the pre-doc fellowship application through the NIH or National Institutes of Health. And towards the end of a student's PhD career, students can also find a potential postdoc mentor and write what's called an F32 fellowship application. And keep in mind that most of these grants through NIH takes about 9 months after you submit the grant to go through the review process. So if you're thinking that you're going to need a grant at a particular time, you want to work backwards and think about submitting a grant about 2 years before you're going to need it, so that you can go through 2 review cycles so that you'll have a grant in hand by the time you need it when you're finishing the PhD. Students also ask me if it's a good idea to work with multiple labs or multiple faculty members as a graduate student. So the key thing to keep in mind is that in order to land a faculty position or a postdoc, you're most likely going to need to submit about 2 or 3 letters of recommendation. So of course, the primary PhD advisor you work with will be the one writing a letter of recommendation, but it would be a good idea to work with multiple faculty members so that you can get about 3 letters of recommendation that you need once you go on the job market. So one of the ways you can do that is the PI or the faculty advisor you work with may already be writing with other faculty members, so you can get on a co-author publication with another faculty member that way. Or you may be in a lab where the faculty member the only senior author on that publication is that faculty member you work with, in which case you may want to consider joining a different lab at your department or in your department. So I recommend students to finish their master's thesis first, so they have some skill set they can offer a PI or a faculty advisor in a different faculty member in their department, so that they have something to contribute to another faculty member. And then students also ask me, what are the key things they need to land a faculty position? The most important thing is publications. Like I mentioned, it is important to have closer to about 5 first author publications. And you want to have at least 2 publications that are in a top tier journal, especially if you're thinking about wanting a faculty position at a Research 1 university. You also want to show grantsmanship. Ideally, if you're a PhD student, you want to show evidence of submitting NSF grants, NSF graduate fellowship at least, things like that, to show that you're working on grants. You also want to have an opportunity to teach a course independently. We're typically looking for candidates who have a minimum of about 4.0 out of 5.0 in terms of teaching evaluation and teaching effectiveness. Fourth, you want to have strong letters of recommendation from about 3 faculty members you work with. And fifth, you want to show that you've mentored a student. So if you've co-authored a paper with an undergraduate student as a graduate student, that looks great on your CV. So we recommend doing that. So again, the 5 key things we would need we're looking for you to land a faculty position. 1 is publication. 2 is having grants. 3 is having teaching independently. 4th is having strong letters of recommendation. And 5th is showing that you have mentored a student towards publication.